Hello, superfans and Excelsior. Today we are running Masks. Masks is a game about usually younger superheroes, more in the teenage range, Young Justice, Teen Titans, Legion of Superheroes, all those wonderful sidekicks who have elevated themselves above the normal rigmarole. This is going to be a game based on my favorite comics, one of my favorite comic series, Ecstatics, which what took the term of reality stars and applied it to heroes. We'll also be touching on the idea Youngblood scratched upon, which was heroes as celebrities, but unlike Youngblood, we'll actually get into it more than one issue. Um, I am Sawyer, also known as Ferret. I really don't care which name you call me. I will answer to anything. Along those lines, my gender pronouns are he, him, but I'm gender apathetic. Call me whatever, I'll answer. Just make sure I know you're calling me. Uh, I've not written anything for Masks. That's not to say I won't in the future. But with that done, let's introduce our players and get to know their characters in this first session. So, in character keeper order, Leandra, would you introduce yourself and your wonderful person?
Sorry, my computer decided to freeze at that exact moment. Um, so perfect, perfect. Opposite perfect there. Sorry, I'm discombobulated by that now. Yeah, my name is Leandro. I use he/him pronouns. My ecstatics was after my time. I'm sorry. So my references are probably going to be out of date because I was also not a '90s kid. But I'm quite interested. I'm a big fan of masks. I've run too much masks lately. So here to have fun. I'm using the Transform playbook for this. Playing a character named Cassandra Cruz. Her superhero name is Scanline, and really the initial concept is that I want to play a character who has a TV for a head. So that's kind of her transformed state, is that she has technopathy powers. I mean, she can control bits of metal technology and kind of cobble them together to create some sort of unexpected effect. And her manifesting her powers came in an unfortunate time, in an unfortunate place, in an unfortunate situation that left her with a weird, vaguely humanoid shape of a body with like doll-like hands and metallic cobbled together bits of junk for limbs and a TV for a head. And she kind of has two personas, one on camera and one off. On camera, she's kind of like, what if you can personify an advert paid for by the New World Order? That's kind of her persona. Brash, angry. Oh, not brash, but just arrogant, black and white. Yo, we already got their money, brother. Sort of. That's how she presents on camera. Off camera, she's a bit more demure and conflicted and angry about her condition, which is, that's kind of typical for the Transform. Is there any more, or do you want me to go through like backstory stuff, or should we let everyone
Let's
get
go.
started?
Let's do this, then go around and touch on the backstory questions. Then we'll get to the leading questions. Then the once we became a team questions.
All right, fab. Go on.
I think if unless there's anything else you want to say, we can go to Patrick.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So Patrick, introduce yourself and your wonderful character.
Hi, I'm Patrick, he, him. I'm going to be playing the Beacon playbook with Karen Rook, who is a young sort of former heiress, very rich family, grew up wealthy, but on the outs with her parents, got disowned for this whole superheroing thing. But, whatever. She's fine. She's making it. She's a PI on the streets, and it's, she always has money for more than ramen. I don't know why you're looking at me like that. But she also gets to be a superhero out there, which is pretty freaking cool. There's this whole complicated backstory with like this inept super team who was trying to save me at a gala I was at, and it was pathetic. I had to step in. I had to fix everything. It's fine now. They, could use my help for a while to not die, to not get thrown in jail, but they're whatever. I touch base with them every now and then. I know you've probably heard of, there is another hero, Chiron, older guy, been around for a while, super famous or whatever, it's fine. But it's not at all confusing that we share the same name. He was totally cool with it after I explained it to him what I was doing, and we're like buds or whatever, but it's, I don't know why people keep getting hung up on the whole name thing. No real superpowers exactly, but I do have amazing like bow and arrow tricks and great acrobatics. No biggie, went to the Olympics one time, was on the Olympic team, didn't actually medal, but there's this whole like alien blood doping scandal thing that I busted wide open. It was on the news. You probably saw me. I think that's about it.
Quite lovely. And Tyler, would you introduce yourself and your wonderful character?
Alrighty, I'm Tyler. I use he, him pronouns. And I am playing Minikulo Petkani. Mine to everyone, because that's kind of a hard name to say. Her real name is Vicky Palo. She is a doomed. She is actually Hungarian. She's a Roma, in truth, but her native language is Hungarian. She's kind of got the goth girl vibe going pretty heavy. She has psychic constructs, memory manipulation, and body transmutation, which is, with the body transmutation, she presents very feminine, was extremely, I think I wrote down, aggressively feminine, but was born male. And it comes a little in with her doom that we see how this all sort of played out. So we'll get to that in background. She kind of hangs around when she's not in her big costume drag in like hoodie, kind of dark clothes. But when she's done up in her full costume, she's got the long black dress, the kind of witchy looking cloak, black cloak with hood. She wears the jewelry, all the fabulous eye makeup. She is... I'm not wanting to play her as a down and out doomed. She very much believes that she has a limited time. Someone is coming for her, and she's going to have the best possible fun while she can. She's a little sarcastic, a little sardonic, but at the same time, she's looking for friends to help her and make sure that she lives while she has the chance to do so. That's
sounds quite interesting. I always like chipper dooms. And Erez, would you introduce yourself and your character?
Yeah, my camera is going crazy, so that's weird.
Perfectly okay. Don't
yeah.
worry.
My name is Erez, obviously, and I'm going to play Manny, whose real name is Georgie Stamets. Stamets. I'm not really sure how you say that name, but that's his name. He appears to be like your average, everyday, regular reality TV star kind of guy, like with the blonde hair in the flip. He's well built. He looks like he would be on a reality TV show, like so many others. He's supposed to be the delinquent, although everyone up until now sounds like a delinquent. So he would fit perfectly fine. And his power is that he can kind of split like into two of himself, which are smaller because he keeps the same mass and size. So he just kind of splits and splits and splits. He can split into as many as he wants. And he's just likes fun. That's why he does what he does. So he's gonna, the group sounds like they're gonna be great.
I really like that power. It sounds like one of the heroes from one of the first comics I ever read, Power Pack, who could shrink down to a really small size, but kept his weight and mass, and would like body slam people like pinprick style.
You talk like Ant-Man, but no, he splits into several like himself, which keep the same as so he can be many. That's
Like this sounds like a much better one. Like you can like have little people like help and lift a fridge and help people move.
So yeah, he can. That's his thing. He
Okay.
can grow. He can only split, but that's good.
Yeah, let's go back around to Scanline. And could you read your background questions for us and the answers you have written out?
All right. So the first question is, let's go down. Who are you before? So before the transformation, Cassandra was a avid fan of superheroes. I think she's kind of really big in the fandom. I think she's probably well known in the big Usenet groups back in the day, like rec.arts.metawatch. I think that's the name of the group. And she's a contributor to a monthly fanzine called Metamorphosis. Her shtick was that she wrote eyewitness accounts of like superhero fights out in the open because they're big and exciting. You know, it's like watching a movie but being in a movie. I mean, you're just one of the extras there in the corner that people might, notice in the future. Say, oh, I don't know, that guy over there with the red coat, he was very distinctive. I think that's how she sees herself. So she does have like a reckless need to be like wherever heroes do their thing because they're exciting, they're fun. And the next question is, when did you change and what caused it? Well, she was. It seemed like a typical, just a superhero fight that got caught up in a junkyard between. We named the superhero. Her name is Majestic Might, and one of the Zeitgeist villains, Athena, got into a battle in a junkyard that left Cassandra trapped under junk and refuse, wounded, and probably was going to be left there until the 1994 Meta Blast happened and awakened her technopathic powers. And those powers kind of instinctively tried to fix her injuries by drawing in on the junk around her, and hence why she's now like, she looks like she is cobbled together from junk and refuse, and hence why the TV on for a head. It's not so much that she has TV on the head, it's just that the TV is now her head. So that's fun. Who outside the team is helping you cope with your new body? That would be my kind of sort of friend / rival, Melody Fisher. She's the editor of Metamorphosis, and she's kind of the only one who knows that Scanline is Cassandra Cruz. I think in the zine and in the Usenet groups, Cassandra's still putting out a presence, but outside of those groups, nobody knows what she looks like. Nobody has a Facebook, or not even the Facebook. So nobody really knows where Cassandra is except for Melody. Well, at least they know. She knows at least Cassandra and Scanline are the same person. Yeah, not even a MySpace, not even a Friendster. Imagine that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Friendster. That was the thing. So why don't you just try to hide yourself away? Because that's not great as the situation is. Turns out what one would miss having eyes, but still a chance to be a superhero. She has cool powers. She has like superhuman senses. That's the other ability she has. She can kind of like see or like feel through like other bits of technology. Basically, the way it works is that it's like she extends energy. Then that's her technopathic powers, and whatever like she can control, she can kind of like feel through or like see through. That's what their superhuman senses mean. So she has a chance to be a superhero with all the notoriety and ability to affect the world that entails, even if it's not exactly the way she thought she'd get there. Make do with the best of a bad situation. And this, why do you care about the team? I assume like we're gonna leave that until I've get to know everyone else just a bit more.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, because the why you care about this team can be very different for people on a reality TV show team.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, next, Chiron.
So let's see. My backstory questions are, how did you gain your skills? Which was a wealthy childhood with the best trainers and coaches money could buy. She was very much athletic, tomboy, never interested in anything high society or particularly feminine. And so, sorry. Basically just spend her childhood sort of hopping from sport to skill to the next one sort of thing. Like I said, went to the Olympics, didn't actually medal, but there's that whole alien blood doping scandal, and she cracked it wide open, and it was all her, and everybody remembers that, right? You remember that. Everybody remembers that. When did you first put on your costume? There was a gala that my parents were throwing, that there was a whole, like, supervillain team comes in, they're going to use rainbow lasers or whatever to melt everyone if they don't give them their stocks or jewelry or something. It was really boring. It happens all the time. But this super team of like teens who didn't know what they were doing came in and tried to save us, and they just ended up wrecking everything. I had to pull everyone's ass out of the fire.
What is the superhero team's name? Or maybe was this the first iteration of Generation Extra?
Yeah, I could see that. Like, there were some like local access cable channel sort of
They were
show.
the pilot team.
Mm-hmm. But there was obvious from some of the footage of that fight that there were some more photogenic stars to be had. Cool. Let's see. Who outside the team thinks you shouldn't be a superhero? Which would be my mom, Poppy Rook, who disowned me when I refused to stop embarrassing the family with this supers nonsense or whatever. She just doesn't understand. But it's fine. I don't need any of that. I never used all of my wealth at anything except for all of the training and access and skills that I have. But I'm not going to miss any of that, and I get along fine with PI work on the streets here. It pays all right. People mostly send in part of their bills sometimes, with money even occasionally. Let's see. Why do you try to be a superhero? And I put 3 reasons here. 1, because everyone else always screws it up without me. 2, because of the amazing adrenaline rush. But also 3, because that look in people's eyes, like people who aren't metas, who don't have all these powers, when like the world just goes crazy around them and everything they love is threatened or crumbling down, and they just can't do anything about it. That's sort of a weakness, and she'll always go for the sob story.
Lovely. And Minakulos, will you tell us your questions?
Certainly. I'm going to dip just a tiny bit into my moves because a lot of them are kind of backstory. As the Doomed, I have a nemesis who is Soreto Artatlan, which is the Taker of Innocence. I usually just call him Taker. But my backstory questions are: when did you first learn of your doom? He loved me for who I had always known I was. He promised to adore me as his queen. I took his hand and he took me away. Over the timeless ages as his pet, I battered myself against the cage. Even as I slipped through the bars, I knew I could never escape. I had saw him across a crowded room. He was beautiful and handsome, and he loved me. And then when he took me away, he just kept me locked up like a pretty thing. And even though I escaped, I know he's looking for me. There are things that I do that I know draw his attention. Strangely enough, that being on television isn't one of them. Where did you get your sanctuary? Because I have a sanctuary. Rigi of the beady eyes that see watched as Taker ravaged innocence. He took pity on me as I fled, bringing me to the spaces between the walls. Here I found a way to the mortal world, and within the walls, he cares for me and teaches me beauty. He's kind of like Splinter. He's a large humanoid rat. And when I escaped, he opened up a tunnel into where he kind of exists between the mortal world and hell and all of the other little dimensions. And inside of that space is where my sanctuary is, which has a teleporter, and it has beautiful artistic things that he keeps, as well as him. And he sort of helps me out. But it's not always easy for me to get there. I have to really concentrate to be able to teleport into it. But he's there keeping an eye out for me and taking care of me. Why do you oppose your nemesis? He lies and corrupts. He takes the hopes of the innocent and devours their dreams, leaving only the chaff of shame. He is despicable in all ways because he plays upon what people hope, and I hate him for it. Not to mention he wants to stick me in a cage or devour my soul. Who outside of the team is crucial to defeating your nemesis? I'm not the only one who's escaped, and what we kept from him we can forge into a weapon to destroy him. I imagine there are others that are like me that have been changed by his presence, and I'm looking for them in hopes that together we can defeat him before he catches us all and hauls us back away.
That's delightful. When were you taken by the Taker?
I imagine that I was taken somewhere in the early 50s and came back just maybe a year or so ago.
Sounds great. And I love the Changeling the Lost vibes from this. Very good. And one other question. Can other people go to your sanctuary?
Yes, I can. If I can manage to open up the door for me to get through, I can take people with me. We have the teleportal in there to get out of it. It's just hard for me to access it.
Yes, makes sense. Okay, and moving on. Minnie, will you answer your questions for us?
Shall we? So, how did you get your powers? So it's probably the last Meta Blast that happened. I think it was 94 or something like that. Although the powers themselves didn't show up until quite a bit later, until he was a teenager, basically. He's a bit older, I guess, than the other group, because he's around his 19, 20, rather than an actual teenager. What do you do for fun? So he goes to bars, he parties, he dates, he has fun for fun. And I think the more correct thing to say would be that other people do him for fun, because he's fun. Who outside the team thinks better of you? So there's a guy called Mental, who's a telepath. He's a street level hero, just like I used to be before I joined this reality show. We have grouped up a bunch of times fighting crime on the streets and stuff like that. And he always thought the best of me for some unknown reason. Why do I try to be a hero? For once, it's awesome. It is fun. Fun is all I am for. But also it works for parties and the ladies to be a superhero. So it's why not?
Okay, this is glorious. Now, I have written some leading questions for everyone, and we will cut back to Scanline. So, Scanline, I assume you keep up with the Metamorphosis magazine still? What did the fans of Metamorphosis think about you in their pages?
Oh man, I think the fans, because that's the thing with fans. They're always kind of suspicious of. At start, they're always kind of suspicious of new superheroes. I guess they have their established favorites. They know who they like, and I think Scanline's still very new. 2 years probably isn't that much, but I think they're kind of warming up there. At start, they're it's a bit. I think the image, or just the look of Scanline was a bit not obvious, but it's a bit much. But I think they're kind of warming up. It's now that phase where okay, no, she's doing some. Well, yeah, she's doing some stuff, and she's kind of proving herself. But at the moment, Metamorphosis is less about pushing new heroes and more about concentrating on favorites. And so there's always kind of that gossipy sort of Are they up to snuff? But since it's been 2 years, they're kind of they're regarding her with a bit more like warmth, I guess.
Yes. Do you blame anyone for what the Meta Blast did to you?
Um, not not publicly. I think again, the persona she's putting on is a lot of attempts at projecting confidence. So she's not blaming anyone. It's more like yeah, I got these powers now to make me do cool stuff. But privately, at the end of the day, she can't really blame anyone but herself because
Ooh.
she went into that junkyard and thinking, oh, this is gonna be another fight. I'll just cover this. I'll write this for the zine. It'll be fine. And you can only do that so many times when, like, the 9 times out of 10 where it's not fine will happen, and it happened. And she really has no one to blame but herself for this.
Yeah. Okay, now we get to the more general questions. How did Miss Marvelous bring you to the team?
I think. I think she likes the look. I think she I think the idea of sticking a person in a TV who can broadcast stuff like Skyline's TV can just put on other things. The idea of having that image as part of the reality TV show, it's part of that whole 90s obsession with irony to the point where they're just trying to be ironic for the sake of being ironic, which itself is also ironic, I guess, and it just turns to a Mobius loop of irony. I think that's the main gist of it. I don't know if Miss Marvelous even like looks at my track record, if I've done anything noteworthy beyond maybe a few fights or so, but the idea of a cocky cocksure, like weirdo transformed hero with a TV for a head, I think it appeals. The image appeals.
Okay, and this is an ecstatic style question. What's your team's subtitle? And this is like You Go Girl, the teleporting temptress, or Orphan, Mr. Sensitive. Like it's like Scanline blank. What would Scanline's subtitle be?
Ooh. Oh, geez. You gotta give me time to think about that. Because I want to think of something decent.
Okay. Take your time. And just letting everyone know, I'm going to ask that from everyone. And the final question, who is your biggest fan, or what are you endorsing on TV?
I think my biggest fan, and when I say biggest fan, this could be another. No, I don't want it to be another hero, but it could be.
Like it could be the person who ran Metamorphosis with you, like since they know your identity.
Yeah. No, I think me and Melody have a more contentious relationship. I don't know if because she knows who I am. I think it is. Who would it be? I like the idea that her biggest fan is some sort of no. It's either that or what am I endorsing on TV?
Yeah, like OK Cola, Friendster, BBC boards, Metamorphosis.
Sony PlayStations.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah,
Why
maybe
not
like
Sony television screens?
Yeah, just
Well,
Sony.
What screen are you? Like, what is your head?
Oh, damn! I should have thought of that, but let me look up
Sony? Sony?
Yeah, I think it is Sony. I think they saw that and they're like, "Oh, it's a walking advertisement on a reality
Perfect.
TV show."
Perfect.
Yeah, yeah, and they just launched the PlayStation. They're about to launch the PlayStation in the US in '96. So yeah, that's perfectly timed. So she can show like commercials on their TV screen. Paid for, obviously. They have to pay for to show that, but yeah, I think it is Sony.
Okay, and that's all I have to ask you for now. And we'll move on to Chiron. Who in your family, extended or otherwise, actually doesn't mind the superheroics or likes that you piss off your mom?
I like the idea of a brother.
Okay. Almost wrote Chiron's brother under a scanline subtitle. That would have been bad.
Let's go with Johnny.
Understood. Does anyone from your Olympic days hold a grudge against you for being more interested in heroism than the medals?
Yeah, for that certainly. I could see two possibilities for grudge there. Either like one of the people that I got caught, or someone else on my team who, yeah,
Or your coach?
mm. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, probably someone very like close to my mom, who is part of her whole thing of like turning against my superheroics and disowning me. Was part of that was him like talking to her about all the potential that I was wasting and all of the fame and sort of medals that I could be out there winning, rather than wasting my time with like renters who have a problem with someone harassing them, or strange goblins that crawl out of the sewers.
Yeah. How did Miss Marvelous bring you to the team?
I think she sort of like auditioned me before I quite realized what was going on. I think she like sent someone to set up some PI work with me. When that didn't end up burning down quite a whole building, she came and like saw me herself and gave me a couple of jobs, just sort of stringing me along and testing things out, before she decided that I was the right combination of like exciting, photogenic, and slightly chaotic.
Gotcha. What's your team subtitle?
I don't know.
I'm like the adrenaline junkie. The let's see, or Chiron, the other one.
Yeah, I sort of like that. Maybe like Chiron, like the new hotness.
Ooh, I like that. And who is your biggest fan, or what are you endorsing at the moment? I was about to say it would be interesting if you were endorsing the next Olympics.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. So, like, my mom and I totally don't get it along, fight all the time. Like, she could never get to me with the whole like you're disappointing the family thing. But I think that coach, I think he could get to me with the like, you could be so much more, you're abandoning the international sports community and all this sort of thing. So I think he's managed to guilt me into like a sponsorship deal with like the Olympic team, especially for I guess like archery, whatever the like multiple events like skiing and shooting or whatever the fuck she would have done in the Olympics. I'm bad at Olympics.
Okay, thank you very much. Minakulos. How was the Meta Blast of '94 crucial to your escape from the Taker's realm?
Ooh. I think it reverberated throughout all of the places that are linked to Earth 4. Aren't we Earth 4?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think where I had been somewhat twisted by the Taker, I think that when the blast occurred, it gave me something of my own, something that he didn't know, something that wasn't in his control. And that's where probably something like that, probably like the body modification. And I was able to escape because of that, and it's something that is entirely me. It's not something that is because of him.
Ooh, I really like that. What has changed the most since you have been gone? And do you enjoy it?
I think it is pop culture. It's that idea of television. I think I love the new music. I always liked dancing. And so I kind of like pop music, but television was just beginning, and where I was in Hungary, not huge. So I think I love that people can come out and everyone see them and become loved and adored without ever having to actually meet someone, sort of thing. So I think I really love the idea of mass media. I think it just excites me.
I like that. How did Miss Marvelous bring you to the team?
That is a good question.
Let me rephrase this. Has Miss Marvelous ever fought the Taker?
Maybe so. Yeah, maybe it comes along the idea that she's seen other of his handiwork and has she protected someone he was coming after once before they ever were taken away. So she knows his nature. She knows the horrible thing he is, and she probably felt sorry for me getting out of there. But at the same time, she also was probably smart enough and willing to use a person enough to recognize that gave me powers, and I could be useful for what she was doing here.
Yeah. What's your team subtitle?
The Mysterious One, I think. Yeah.
I would have also said No One's Slave.
Ooh, I like that too. Yeah, I like that one. That's a good one. Go with that one. And I was thinking, since we have a mini and I have my kind of abbreviated name as Mine, is Patkani hard for people to say? Or should I go with Connie? Or
I like learning different ways to say names or different names to say. So I'm not sure about the rest. Maybe as a superhero name. Like your powers are like building constructs and all that.
It means in Hungarian "fleeing rat" is what my name means.
Ooh.
But so Patkani is rat.
Could just be like the quickening or quickened, or I don't know. I'm not good with superhero names as much as I am with titles. Thank you, Exalted. Like the Brazen, or
I'll think on it.
Yeah, that's fine. And but who is your biggest fan, or what are you endorsing at the moment?
I think I do makeup videos online, and so I think I have a sponsorship deal with like Manic Panic hair dye and like one of the hipper, more avant-garde makeup lines.
Oh god, I'm trying to think of my goth phase because it was in the 90s. I know there was like a Dark Beauty and Blue Rose makeups.
I like Dark Beauty.
You've probably shown up, since this is Nashville, you've probably shown up in a Crew Shadows music video.
Woohoo!
Okay, Georgie or Minnie, When was the first time you used your powers, and what did you think about them?
It's gonna be silly. I was in a bar, and I was like sitting next to a lady and hitting on her and stuff. When some other dude came in and started harassing her, basically, and we took it outside, and I kicked his ass by becoming a lot of me's. I was surprised.
I like the idea, like you threw a punch and then like you suddenly weren't there, but there were two of you, just
I was
smaller
there.
under the
I was-
fist.
Poof. Yes. Well, in more a strategic location, I punched him instead of the face. Yeah, that would probably end up what it's happening. More strategic location. Yeah, that's how it started.
Okay.
I don't think I ended up being with that lady at the end because I became several smaller me's for a while. So
Yeah.
that doesn't work on.
Has your cavalier attitude hurt anyone close to you?
Probably everyone close to me. I think basically family members think I'm like exactly what you would think of a reality TV star. Just drugs, parties, drinks until he's lost it, everything. Like all the nonsense. Like so yeah, everyone around me has probably been hurt at one point or another.
Oh,
Not by my supers, just by my being.
You sound like the original leader of the Ecstatics. How did Miss Marvelous bring you to the team?
How could she not?
Great question. Great answer.
I mean, this is reality TV, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the one sitting on the chair and dishing dirt at everyone. Like, who would be if not me?
Yeah. What's your team subtitle?
So I had an idea. Like, I was thinking the boy next door, but that sounds
Ooh.
like too good. So I was thinking the boy upstairs. The one that makes noise on the floor.
Also, with
Not sure though.
like with rap going on, could just be like Big Papa.
Ik Papa. He's not. Well,
No, there's this song where it's like, I love it when the ladies call me Big Papa, and it's just about hitting on women, getting drunk, being fabulous and famous.
that's what others might refer to me as.
But
Maybe.
yeah, I'll just put the boy upstairs. That
sounds-
says a lot.
Yeah.
Who is
Where the loud music comes from.
who is your biggest fan, or what are you endorsing right now?
Who wants me to endorse him?
I
don't think anyone would want. I'd drink way too much. Like,
maybe it's alcohol. It's your like maybe you have your own liquor.
But I'm not like. But I'm not a good. I'm not. How is it called? Like someone who you shouldn't be following.
You're not a good influence. No.
No, I'm not a good influence. I shouldn't be commercializing. I think I just have a lot of fans. Like the people are my fans, basically. Girls are my fans.
Oh, God. I'll just put a lot of groupies.
Yes, I have a buttload of groupies, guys, girls, all of them. Like, I just have a bunch of groupies.
Okay, and Scanline, have you come up with your subtitle?
No, I'm still going back. Do you have any suggestions?
The Screen Queen.
Oh, there we go. I was trying to find something like that. There we go. Okay, I'm
watching TV.
And now, this team seems to be a bunch of roughshod reality star. You come from different backgrounds. We have the person who's been taken and is changed forever, irrevocably a hero. We have the TV, who knows everything about TV and media, kind of, and is pitching for Sony. We have the beautiful, talented, better than you reality TV star who can turn into lots of him for interviews. And the Olympic athlete, who is oddly enough the most identifiable for many of the fans. But I will ask Scanline. What makes this team important to you? Or I guess like that is the final your final character question, pretty much. Why do you
Yeah.
care about the team?
Why do I care about these reprobates? I think it's because she wants to have it. I think this is kind of her first team, and she wants to make it work. And I think beforehand she kind of been leery teaming up with other people because she's still in that halfway point where she kind of she's being a superhero, but not in the way she likes. So this is kind of like her first chance at like a proper team, even if they have to be on TV to do it. She'll do it. She'll make it work, no matter what anyone else says.
Okay. I see Chiron. You already have answered your question. Do you want to read it out to?
Yeah, I care about this team because we can be a real example to people. Like with the televised nature, we can reach out to people. We could really like influence a lot of people with this. Also, now I can pay my rent.
Yeah. Fleer. Love the name. Great reference. Why does the team matter to you?
I think that I was alone for so long, and I think I crave having them around me. I crave being needed and needing other people.
I like it. And Minnie, why do you care about the team?
I'm not sure I do. I mean,
At the very least, they prop up your famousness. You wouldn't have a reality TV show without them.
next to these guys, I'm the star. So I guess, yeah, I need them for that. Yeah, I guess. Also, like the money. Yeah, I mean, a TV star. Yeah, it's probably not even my first like reality TV show.
Okay. And Leandro, you've run more masks than I am. I think there's a order you're supposed to ask the when our team first came together questions. Am I correct?
Yes, it should be in the GM sheets. Hold on, let me pull up my copy of that. I know the bull usually goes first. We don't have a bull.
Yeah, bull first, and then there's a whole list.
Hold on, let me find it in my warren of folders. It should just autofill on my browser because I use it so goddamn much.
Thank you so much.
No worries, let's give it a wait. I've like this computer is slow and terrible and it's failing me at this appropriate moment. You can tell I'm babbling because I'm trying to fill up air.
Bull, Nova, Outsider, Janus, Delinquent, Doomed, Legacy, Transformed, Protege, and Beacon. But the bull is important to actually happen even if we don't have a bull, because it's like who we fought against.
Yeah, who we're fighting.
Can you put that list in the chat for me so I can just read it out?
Sure.
Because we don't have them all, thankfully, and I want to get. Oh no, not the actual questions asked, just the names of the order of the names.
It just came. Read it.
So Bull, Nova, Outsider, Janus. Okay, the Delinquent. We totally broke some major rules to win the fight. What rules did we break? Whose rules were they?
Well, there are probably actual rules, like police rules, city hall rules, whatever you select. With this team, we probably drank a lot. And I don't know if superheroing while drunk is an actual illegal thing. We probably broke a bunch of stuff.
I like the idea that you broke street rule, like a lot of ordinances, like
Yeah.
you know, like maybe in this world seems to will have a lot of heroes, like with the Meta Blast. There's rules and procedures.
Yeah.
Perhaps like I'll say like you broke if it's fighting, it broke
Underage.
heroic procedure.
Underage for drinking. Tyler's idea. That's true. Is it
Yeah,
underage
and
20 years old? I think it is. 21
yes,
in
it
the
is
US,
in America.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and we probably filmed it on YouTube, so everyone can see. So.
Well, you're on a VH1.
Oh,
This is,
96. Yeah.
This is competing with the real world and the road rules because we have heroes. So yeah, you were not the greatest. So yeah, you broke society's laws basically.
Yes, we're not good heroes. We're just heroes.
This is so ecstatic. I love it. So yeah, Fleer. Let me get to the. You paid a high cost for victory. What was it?
And this is our first one, so I think that I think we had a cast member who was here with us before, but they got hurt to where they could not be with us anymore. I think there probably was supposed to be like a responsible, very heroic, the straight man for all of our craziness, and instead they got knocked out of this, in the first fight and were hurt badly enough they couldn't continue for a while, and at the same time the ratings for the goody was not doing great. And so instead of having this moral compass and someone who could actually be a good leader, we ended up with just us, which is all of the sort of nutty ones.
Oh, I love that. Scanline. We drew attention and ire from plenty during the fight. One important person in particular now hates and fears us. Who is it?
Oh, it has to be some sort of stuffy politician who's decrying all this this immoral reality TV, right?
I think the one that went against computer game violence and all that stuff. It should be literally him. What's his name?
Or like it should be like a Jack Thompson stan. I think I like the idea that the stuffy politician. But go on, Leandro. Keep.
I think it should be some sort of Jack Thompson. Jack Thompson-esque. Doesn't really understand it. I kind of want to make it Scanline's dad. But he doesn't know that Scanline is his daughter. Yeah, what would his name be? I don't want just because Scanline is Filipino. I don't want.
Well, since I've been making a Filipino Janus, Melkor. That's the only one that came to mind right now. Thank you, brain.
Rodrigo Cruz.
That's beautiful. And is he running for office or in office right now?
I think he's running for office. So obviously, this is like a very obvious issue to make himself famous for.
And I know we're probably going to have a legacy, but we'll see how to write them in. And the Beacon's question, which is, we found signs this incident was just the start of something bigger. What were the signs?
So,
and this could be like leading up to the Zeitgeist coming in for the first time, perhaps, if you want.
And what is the Zeitgeist again?
They're like the supervillain team I made that will be going up against you.
Yeah, I think whatever we fought, maybe like a robot invasion. That's always fun.
Sounds, yeah, because the 94 Meta Blast opened up like several portals to other dimensions, as we've said, other worlds. So like this definitely could be like a portal from the future, or too Terminator-esque for comfort.
So I like the idea that like after the battle, we found some footage, like a tape somewhere, that actually showed like sort of stage rehearsals for this invasion. Like someone was setting it up and trying to make it look perfect and for people to watch, sort of thing.
Ooh, one follow-up question. Did this mean that this was a distraction?
No, I think it was like a proof of concept.
Gotcha. Okay, and with those questions, I think we can take a 10-minute break, be back 16 after the hour. I'll write up some more notes, do the emceeing stuff, and we will actually get into the role play for now. See you guys soon. It has been a while. I cannot believe I forgot about the relationship questions. Okay, we're all back, and I think just to shake things up, we will start character questions in reverse order. Just to remind you all, we will have a fifth player joining next week. Eris, since you joined the first session, you're on the first on the wait list. Feel free to join every other game if you can make it. I'll be fine to work with that. Rather not have to kill off the delinquent first episode since he seems to be so into this. So if you want to save a relationship question for the legacy, or see if you'd like to, feel free to. But try to at least at least one relationship question per person answered. Would you read out your first relationship question, or whichever one you would like to apply to one of your lovely teammates?
Who? Me?
Yes, Eris. We're going in reverse character keeper order this time.
Okay. Is everyone here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I don't see their videos. Let's see. What was it? And do you know anything about the legacy character?
The legacy character is a superhero who. What he's told me is he's the hero of some very Wonder Woman-esque character who wants her child to be famous and powerful, and pushed him into the reality TV show.
Is he playing a boy or a girl? That's all I need to know.
It's a boy.
Ah, okay. So who cares? Let's see. You keep trying to impress with your antics. Now, who's hotter? Chiron
Scanline.
No.
She runs pretty hot. Those tube TVs are great.
We're gonna see ourselves on the TV. That would be interesting. Is that TV on? Does it work? I have to know.
Default image is the it's either static or the those bars.
Can you connect things and then play?
Oh, I could. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if she lets you.
Oh, obviously. So who's hotter, Chiron or Fleer? I'm gay, so I don't actually know. I think I have Fleer for the other one. So Chiron, yeah. Keep trying to impress Chiron with my antics. Also, she's rich, so that's a good percentage.
Well, she's from a very well-to-do family, and she's so impressive herself. I mean, she's the reason this show's even being made, because the pilot team could not do it on their own.
yeah, that would explain it. It certainly would.
And you said the other question you have will go to Fleer, correct?
I think it fits Fleer. You and Fleer pulled an awesome, if illegal, stunt together. She sounds like the person to do it with.
What was this stunt?
That could be a 1996 stunt. Something with skateboards, probably.
Oh, Lord. You could have done the first flash mob.
Could have done the first flash mob. That would be nice. Psychic constructs, of course, and then made everyone else forget it. No, I'm just kidding about the second part.
Oh, never forget it.
Yeah, never.
They have to remember you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's glorious.
Oh, I know what we did. We did a giant Macarena flash bomb, but that's how it gets in. It is 1996 after all.
Oh, and you're on VH1. It works. Fleer, which of your questions or both do you want to ask?
Let's see here. I have them. I do have them in here. Yes. I think I'm going to hold my "I'd love to kiss" for our for our legacy when he gets here. I told Blank about your doom and the danger you're in. I think I told Scanline.
Nice.
It is, obviously it's part of I have this fear, not so much that he's tracking me or going to show up, but that I'm going to become so sullied that he can just take me, that I will go back to him. And so I think I've told you that, and that a big part of that fear is I'm terrified to be alone. I'm terrified if I'm alone, those thoughts are going to get to me. It's also part of my doom, is being alone, fighting alone. So I think I told Scanline about that, and how much like the team means, and how much Scanline, wanting to have you around me, how much it means to me.
Okay. And holding the other for the legacy. So that means Chiron. Oh, unless Scanline had some questions she wanted to ask.
No, that's fine.
Okay, this is Chiron. Your relationships.
So my first one is Blank is awesome. You take every chance you get to hang out with them. Which I was thinking about many, but then that seems like it makes his trying to impress me too easy. So I think it's Scanline. I think she's pretty cool. Like, first of all, she can do like all the weird technopathy stuff and like play with technology and make things like super high tech. In the 90s is very like dreaming about the technological future. But also, she's the one that I can sit down and just like gossip about the whole superhero world with, because I think Karen's also really into it. And Scanline just knows everything. She knows all the good shit.
Good. And do you want to hold the next one or give it to someone?
No, I'll give it. But I did want to ask real quick, Leandro, like on a friendship level, like on a very personal level, do you think Scanline would go by Scanline or Cassandra? Like, how did she identify herself at this point?
I think she goes by Scanline. I think, like I said, she kind of is putting Cassandra as trying to put Cassandra as a separate person who still contributes it with the scene and whatnot. But people who know her IRL, she's just Scanline.
Cool. Thank you. So yeah, my other one, I think you've got to prove yourself to Blank before you feel like a real hero. And I think it's Fleer. She's doomed. There's this huge danger following her, and I think she's just so afraid all the time. And she obviously doesn't really think of this as her group yet, because if she thought of us as her group, she would feel safe. She would have a place where she wasn't scared all the time. And so I think when I can prove to her that she doesn't need to be scared with us, I'll feel like a real hero.
Cool. And Scanline, your relationships.
Let's see. Blank comforted you when you were at your lowest. I think this is definitely with Fleer as well, because I think out of the 4, soon to be 5 of us, I think we're the ones who probably, if we had to be superheroes, this wouldn't be the path we would have chosen. So I think because she told me about Doom and whatnot, I think it's a reciprocal thing. Like I think Fleer's the one who really knows, who kind of has seen Scanline without the facade, though. No, this actually really kind of sucks sort of situation of being cobbled together. Yeah, so Fleer for that. And my second one is blank new you before you change. Yeah, I was trying to figure this out. This could be any of the other three, honestly, because they're all like superheroes in the know. And
Well, many got his powers about the same time you did, and did not know about it for a while.
I think I might save this for the legacy because at least I would. Actually, no, new me specifically.
Yeah, but I like that with the legacy that maybe you interviewed him, since he's a legacy. He was your age, and you got a deal. You want to be in Metamorphosis? It'll be cool.
Yeah, I think interviewed him or I met him while getting caught up in one of his mom's fights. Probably became a regular sort of thing. Like, oh hey, oh your mom's having a fight. That was close. Yes, I'll save it for then.
Yeah, and we need to do influence as well, which is something. I'll just go in the order of the character keeper, not the character, the playbooks in the PDF words or letters, technically. Chiron, give influence to 3 of your teammates, any 3 you pick, and let's go down to the delinquent. Again, 3 teammates will have influence over you. The doomed only gives 2 teammates influence over them. And the transformed, only 1. Dang. So yeah, feel free to hold influence to the legacy as well if you would like, or I can do something when the legacy comes. Maybe just like add some extra influence. We will see. But
I gave my 2, 1 to Mini and 1 to Scanline.
Gotcha.
I gave 1 to Scanline, Fleer, and Manny.
Understood.
My single one I gave to Fleer.
And Minnie, you gave influence to...
I think Chiron, Fleer, and the Legacy. Because
Okay.
Scanline is... I don't think he cares much about her opinion. She's a
my.
TV over her head.
Okay, and even though you guys are basically young adults, older adults will have influence over you as best with masks. But with that done, we are going to begin. And I think the setting is this large, like, movie theater, almost IMAX-ish, before IMAX was a thing, because Miss Marvelous is rich as Batman, pretty much. And Miss Marvelous's huge or heavy footsteps are just... when she's walking back and forth in front of you all as your last mission plays on the big screen. She has this this control in her hands, and she stops it right as your ex-teammate, let's call him Mojo, because even though Marvel has that character, but like he had the mojo, he had the goods, he was the popular kid. He looks like a more well-polished version of Georgie, but he was the boy next door, not the boy upstairs. And she pauses it right as like this robot's about to punch him, and she turns slowly to Scanline. I believe you could control robots, correct? They're technology, aren't they?
Yes. And I think that comes out of kind of Yeah, her voice is tinny and weird when she says yes, and I think she has it's static on her head at the moment.
Were you busy? Were you not looking? I thought you could see through technology. Am I right?
Well, Miss Marvelous, not to try to kind of demand your opinion, but and I think the tape that she's watching starts playing in Scanline's TV as well,
Mm-hmm.
and it cuts to where Scanline is, who is just standing still, and I think her TV setup is doing is channel surfing, and she's just standing still in the middle of battle, and it's like, well, what you see there, Miss Marvelous, is that actually I was in the middle of a gigantic mental battle between the technological artificial intelligence that control these robots and myself. Now I know it doesn't make for good TV, but trust me, I was contributing to the fight as much as anyone.
And she presses the button again, and you see Mojo's face just get hit. It's like it's this panel of kapow just comes into the next panel, and he goes down like a sack of bricks. Okay, you've explained yourself. Minnie, where were all of you at this moment?
Which moment? Sorry? Like, is
Eh,
that a question that she asks?
Yeah, that's a question she asks.
I think I have earphones in my ears right now.
And she stomps, and it's like this little wave goes under Minnie and launches him in the air. The headphones pop off, and he slams back down the chair. And she's like, "We're doing reviews right now, Minnie. Pay attention.
Yes, ma'am.
Where were you? All of you."
What do you mean? We were there. And he points at the screen.
We were there, and there, and there, and there.
Yeah.
You could have blocked this, or at least jumped on the robot and crushed it.
I mean, I probably could. I think I was a little lightheaded at the moment. But, mistakes were made.
And she presses the button, the camera flashes again, and there's like a bottle of Jack Daniels on the ground. I see. Presses like play again. The robots are like coming towards Mojo and just begin like stomping on him, punching him, laser blast kind of thing. Pause.
That's good TV.
Fleer. Your constructs were busy doing what now, darling?
Mistress, I had a great deal that I was dealing with at the time. There were many robots, and of course, I cannot look over everyone. Mojo has to protect himself to some degree.
And she does something she rarely does. She smiles a little bit, like one dimple that you could tell from like her old days. See, kids, that's how you make an excuse. No, or really an explanation, not an excuse. And I think she does sort of like I'm going to pull influence over Chiron as she turns around, and she had not even mentioned your name while she's where were you? What were you doing? And it's just sort of and she's trying to shift your mundane up and your savior down. Do you reject this influence or take it?
I think I'd try to reject it because I think in Chiron's mind, like, she spent the entire battle running around and making sure that there weren't robots coming all over Scanline while she's just standing there doing nothing and shooting off and like helping all the many-many's while they're just drunkenly staggering around to help them not run into things. Like, she's just got this montage of herself being super busy during the battle. And what is she even talking about? She's been talking about why doesn't she notice me?
That's wonderful. Roll a flat 2d6.
All right. That's a 6.
Okay. And yeah, I think like this just hits you really hard, and you it just feels like you're being you're being ignored by your leader, who's been talking to everyone else. You will adjust your labels, but you also mark a condition. Which one are you going to mark?
Let's see.
Angry, afraid, guilty, hopeless, or insecure?
Oh, it's definitely insecure.
Lovely. And
You said
Miss
mundane up, savior down.
Yes. And Miss Marvelous looks at the TV, the huge screen, plays it a bit forward, and there's like she fast forwards until Mojo's just like holding up his arm, and it sort of collapses. It's like it's sad. But on the plus side, he'd only received one paycheck, and his contract certainly allowed us to fire him after this. And ratings are through the roof. But we're not in this just for ratings, everyone. We are a superhero team. A superhero team. We may do marketing, we may do endorsements, we may let people play video games on our face sometimes, but we're heroes. And she turns back around. There's like when she wants to move delicately and softly, she can very easily. It's almost unnerving how easily she does that. Like you never know when she's outside your room unless she wants you to know. And she looks at Fleer, and again, like there's the dimple goes away, but it's not out of anger. It's not out of fear. It's sort of just a bit of worry. But I've been putting out feelers to see what we can combat, who we can combat, who will allow this. And snaps her fingers. One of the voyeurs flies in, all bobbing, and hands her this really basic Nokia brick. And she begins texting like a person today texts, even though it's the 3-button press to get the correct letters. And like Fleer, I found someone who they're not going to join the team. They're going to be an informant. But they're connected to the Taker.
Really?
His name was Stephen. It doesn't matter what his name was, really. I've done the background digging. Chiron, I can do lots of background digging. But his story pans out. Same dimensional touches, same fear, same cage. But he doesn't have the powers you do. Maybe it was a different generation that he was taken in the 70s.
Ah, where is he?
He's upstairs right now. He's waiting for us to debrief from this mission, and he's going to hopefully inform us of some things. But his powers are not as brazen as yours. I don't think the Taker wants him back exactly. Not how the Taker wants you, which worries me.
Yes, it could be some sort of trap.
If so, I'll handle that with you. But his powers, he can, for brief instances, apparently rip open portals into the other dimensions. It's how he escaped. Well, you'll see, I mean. And she looks at Minnie. Have you put your headphones back in at this point?
I'm thinking of actually doing that. I'm not
And,
sure I did, but I think I was thinking about doing that. Looking at the headphones on the floor, or like next to me somewhere.
And she looks at Minnie and is like, "Your supply arrived. I don't remember saying you could order that much vodka, but please don't give out our address to UPS. We may be public, but we have a persona to maintain. If you're going to drink, do so in public with the cameras on you and make it look good, darling."
Fine, what I do for is fine. Fine,
Yeah.
I can take it out.
Can I have one at least? I've not tried vodka in quite some time.
I kind of look at her and her size. You can have two.
You're a doll. And she presses the button, the screen, like the curtains cover the screen of the theater. She begins walking up, and I figure Fleer at least is going to join to talk with the other escapee, who wants to like come with us. And because if you want to do like another scene, like just walking around your headquarters, that's fine. I don't want to force everyone into this scene.
I was gonna say, I think Karen very obviously wants to go and starts to, but then doesn't because, like, Miss Marvelous didn't ask her, and maybe this is like, does she have a pay grade? Is this above her pay grade? She's not. It's like, oh, this is all gone, and now they're up the stairs already, and it just feels awkward.
That's lovely. Scanline, are you coming?
Oh, was that me?
Yes, Scanline.
Oh, sorry, the internet broke up there. I actually want to talk to Karen.
Ooh, good. So, yeah. And Minnie, are you going with the one hot girl or staying with the other hot girl?
I think the first thing Manny does when Miss Marvelous goes out is look at names at Scanline and be like, "You let someone play on your screen?" Because she said something like that.
Well, it's what I do. Screen playing. I have this. I might as well use it.
No, you let someone else play on your screen?
No, I don't. Only if I let them.
You let someone? That sounds hot. Kind of, I guess.
Well, whatever your definition of hot is, I don't think I care to find out anymore.
I don't know about that. And yeah, he does not join Miss Marvelous when she goes out. He would never. He just takes a bottle of vodka and takes a glass. And anyone else?
I don't really drink. Well, can't really. So it's all yours.
I can think of ways to make you. But yeah.
I'm good, thanks. That's what got us into this problem in the first place.
But there's a problem?
Were you not at the same? It was Miss Marvelous was. How are you? Oh my god!
I don't see a problem. And he pours himself and sits down with the other two.
Anyway, and the head swivels away from Manny towards Karen, and it's like, yeah, look, I don't know what Miss Marvelous is all about, but thanks for keeping me safe out there. I didn't really tell anyone. I was just going to stand there and start flipping through all the TV channels, trying to access all the robot intelligence stuff. But
hey, no, you looked like you needed it, and I was really hopeful that you weren't just looking for the Jerry Springer show.
No, I'd like to think I have better taste than that. But no, you were doing great out there. Like, just making sure everyone's doing well. Like, old man Chiron won't be able to do what you were doing, that's for sure.
Oh, I know, right? And he complains so much more. It's just, it seems like when we're out there, the voyeurs are just never around me. They're looking in all the different directions. And I mean, there got to be some good shots of me, right?
And the voyeur that been called by Miss Marvelous comes over to Chiron and like pats her on the shoulder. And it's like, and I think like telepathically, it's like you get images of like all the screenshots of Chiron, and then you see it was on VH1's like extra scenes credits.
What? What? I'm on the middle of the night extra scene show? Nobody's watching then.
I think you have some good angle.
I'm also going to push just a prod. Does Scanline want to maybe comfort and support Chiron by telling them what she envies about her?
Ooh. Hold on. Let me check.
That will
Which
let you roll with freak instead of mundane.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. I don't think this is the moment yet. I think this is just a general comfort support at the moment, which might be shooting myself in the foot, but because it's a -1. But I think. Actually, no. I'll just say. No, I think it's kind of like. I just realized I can't like raise an eyebrow in this TV head form. So I think it's kind of like, well, that's not fair. Like, come on, out of everyone here, you're the most impressive one out there. Like, you don't need superpowers to do what you do. You just do it. Like I bet you like people in places like Usenet groups or in Angel Fire forums, they're talking about you and about how they empathize with you because out of everyone out there, out of everyone here in this room, you're the one who they could easily be. I mean, with a lot of training and money and support and whatnot, but they can still do it. Like me,
Lots of money.
and yeah, lots of money. Sure, finally, sensible thing you said. But I mean, look at me. I don't think anyone wants to be me, or could be. And if anyone wants that, that would be really weird. But yeah, come on, you deserve so much more. Like, nice that you can do the superhero thing without going through what. And she tilts her TV to upstairs, and kind of gestures to herself. I think this is the yeah. I think I did manage to pivot it to what I envy about them.
Yeah, so roll that with your freak.
Yeah. Oh, thank Christ I did that with freak, because now I got a 9.
Okay.
5.
So confident.
Hit.
Chiron, you may mark potential, clear a condition, or shift your labels.
If you open up.
If I open up, that's on all 3 of them, not just on the shift labels.
Yes.
Yeah, all 3 of them.
Okay, it's grammatically unclear. Yeah, I think she tells you about that first group, the Generation Extra version 1, the pilot episode season, and the group, like they had some legit superpowers amongst them, like superpowers, light show and flying and all that shit. They just didn't know how to do any of it without burning down buildings. But the reason I didn't end up on the pilot season is I actually turned down the contract. I couldn't work with them. The things they said about me, they thought they could say anything just because I didn't have super hearing and I wouldn't hear them. But I mean, they made fun of me the whole time. They talked about me as just like the team mascot on their crutch. So no, I wasn't going to be with those jerks. Made sure I got a better deal coming into this season, and who even remembers them? No one, that's who. I think I'll clear my insecure.
Yeah, and I think like you see a voyeur like rubbing this part that looks like it was a burn on it, and it's like maybe they remember. But if it's fine with everyone, I think we can cut upstairs. Yeah, and there is this man about the age of Fleer, maybe up 1 year, maybe down 1 year. And when you remember when Miss Marvel said like he escaped, and like, well, and then you will see, and there is a very like Iron Man-esque prosthetic leg for his left leg. It stops like his leg stops about mid-thigh, but and he has that same sort of thousand eye haunted stare that you did for like your first year out of the dimension. And Miss Marvelous begins making the noise, just like regular heel clicks of her high heels, and he looks up, like, oh, okay. Hi, are you a fellow escapee?
I am, and I'm gonna move over close to him, and if he lets me, I'm going to reach out and just kind of like touch him shoulder neck area.
And he looks a bit taken aback, but he knows like you all are heroes. You're here to help, basically, and he allows you to touch him.
And I'll look at him. Are you all right?
I'm not there anymore. That's as good as it gets right now.
You're not there anymore. And I'll give him a big hug.
And he hugs back, and there's that feeling of like the two people who've just been through something they can't explain, that kind of camaraderie. And Miss Marvelous gives you the time. You can see she's going to the package where the vodka is, like pulling out her 2 bottles, putting them up. And she comes back. I know your given name, but I don't want to scare you or anything, but just what should we call you? And he looks around and kind of looks shy. Like, I was thinking of being called Rift.
That is very good.
But, and let me check the character keeper real quick, because I don't think he calls that person by the taker like you do. And he's like, but Cerezo, a lot of us escaped recently. When he looks at Fleer, kind of like, again, abashedly, he's like, you were one of his favorites. He threw a tantrum when you left, when you ran away, broke some cages, broke some people, but he was so mad. Enough of us were able to get away. I held the portal open as long as I could, but my powers, they were growing weak. I left some of me behind. I left a lot of them behind. I should have been able to help them all.
You did all you could.
Thank you. But I think they're looking. They're not good. They don't know which dimension. They take beings from so many dimensions. I don't know where they're looking first. But you're in danger. You can't be on TV. And Miss Marvelous puts her hand on him just to reach it. Oddly enough, TV right now is the safest place for her.
I'll look back towards her. Mistress, why do you say this?
If you go missing and you're famous, the entire world will come after you.
Yes. Yes, I suppose that is true. I I also feel that he is looking for something out of me. I do not think he will simply snatch me at his first opportunity. I think he needs something from me.
And Rift looks like sits back in his chair, and like they're trying to build a better cage, a gilded prison to look at all the collection with, an ant farm of some kind.
Oh. And I'll spit on the floor thinking of him, and I think we see kind of like a little, almost an image in the air beside me, kind of ghostly for a moment, of this, that I mentioned in the character, this pale, angry looking, kind of almost beautiful boy that's there for a moment, but he looks angry and afraid before he kind of just, I steel myself and he sort of fades out.
Yeah. And Miss Marvelous looks at Rift, looks at you. Like, I think it might be prudent if I left you two to have a conversation by yourselves. I'm going to go search the bulletin boards and make sure, find something for the next episode.
Thank you, mistress.
And she walks, just again, high heels clicking away, so you know when she's gone. Hopefully, she doesn't seem like the type who's going to eavesdrop on you.
And I suppose I'm going to try and, without like whipping into his trauma, try and get as much information as I can of the escape, what his rifts are like.
Sounds like you're piercing the mask.
Alrighty.
If I take this correctly.
I think so too. So, what do I roll for?
That's mundane.
Mundane. Alrighty. So, making my roll, it's at a 0. Boink. Oh, dice be kind. They are not kind. That's a 6.
Okay. I know what's going to happen. You don't. The move I'm going to make is you miss something, but I'll let you know what it is once it becomes prudent in the fiction. But he tells you about his story. Like, it was just like his cage got knocked over, it broke. There's just like he just wanted to go home, and he imagined his home so much, and then like the rift opened, and it feels, the way he opens his rifts are basically like thinking about the places with strong emotions, like nostalgia for home, or hope for a hospital, or hunger for a restaurant. Just like he puts the primal id emotions into these. But opening them feels like he's opening himself up, and once you've been through trauma, it feels bad. So it shows that he may have control later, just not right now.
Gotcha. And it seems to me that these are just like immediate doorway rifts, as in he opens it up and you step through and you're in that place. It's not like the places between the walls that I went through.
It's not like Nightcrawler's teleporting. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And but if they close on you, it's like a lightsaber.
And when as he makes that sort of, I get that from him, I'll look down at his leg and just like gingerly kind of touch where his knee is there. Is this what happened?
I was feeling weak, and I was able to tap everyone's feeling for home, feeling for safety. I got everyone to where they felt safe, and then I saw my house, but not all of me made it. Enough. Miss Marvelous was really, really generous, and she paid for this. She worked with an old member of her team.
I think it is very nice. It's shining like a Cadillac.
He laughs. It was like, I was thinking like a Thunderbird.
So yeah, I'll try to just make a little bit of friendship and rapport between us.
Yeah.
Two who've been through horrible things.
Yeah, and then like while this I think like as we move to a different scene, like what you missed was like a voyeur filming this behind a curtain.
Befitting their name.
But I want. Does anyone have the scene they would like to see? Because I'm always definitely for us people framing their own scenes.
Not necessarily that, but looking over my stuff, I did want to touch back on that previous scene.
Oh, please.
Because one of my team moves is when you share a vulnerability or weakness with someone, ask them to confirm or deny that you should be here, which sounds very much like what happened.
Ooh, go ahead and Scanline, should Chiron be here?
Well, I think she pretty much very much said that, like, yeah, no, you should be here and people should appreciate you more.
Cool. Then I mark potential and you get influence over me, which I think you have, so that means I think you get to shift my labels.
Exactly. I think I'm putting your mundane back down. I'm putting your mundane back down and putting your. I think you're superior. Just a bit up. Just be like, no.
Nice, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Fine, cat. Our mascot has arrived with my cat in the room. But I think like because you all are celebrities, if it's okay, I would like hard frame us at like a party later that night. And I think this is one of Chiron's like old family buddies, like a friend of the family that by sort of like the rich kind of thing, like we know the Benedicts kind of thing, and maybe they're mad at your mom and want you at the party or your group at the party. Maybe they think it's the way to get in your mom's good graces and they don't know. But this is basically like a mansion style private party. Nashville has these this is going to be in Brentwood, which today Brentwood is known for the McMansions. Back in '96, it was actually quite architecturally beautiful. And I think you all pull up like in the team limo, which just has like Generation Extra written on the doors on the sides. It opens up like these two voyeurs pull out this purple carpet to lead up to the mansion, and this butler comes out and looks at the voyeurs, and one of the like cameras get on, and he's like very Alfred looking, and that like this does not amuse us. I'm going to ask Chiron, are you all on time, early, or fashionably late?
Fashionably late, obviously. I mean, we're not early type people, and I think at the very least Karen would have the sense to pull us back from being on time.
That's lovely. And are you all in your superhero costumes, if you have any? Yeah. And you guys enter the mansion. This teenager runs up, looks like he's maybe 16 or 17. Very good Southern boy, built like a football player. crew cut, dirty blonde hair, wide, ecstatic blue eyes. Oh, you all came! Oh, this is so great. I thought it was going to be so boring. My parents got Dolly Parton to play. I've been to Dollywood last year. This is... But come on in, come on in. Oh, this is going to be so cool!
Dollywood?
Dollywood is a southern amusement park that is built around Dolly Parton's personality. Lots of rides, lots of cool stuff. I've actually been on stage with Miss Parton or an impersonator. I was young, I don't know. But you see like Dolly Parton's people setting up this stage in this grand ballroom that is where like debutantes get introduced, and there are all these there's lots of young teens, there's lots of people from the privileged schools and backgrounds, and a lot of talking stops when you all enter the room. And I think
Are we supposed to be there? Are we making an appearance for this birthday party? Are we supposed to be flashy? Or are we supposed to just mingle and shake hands? Or are we
flashy and garish?
Karen has reinforced that. Be as super as possible. Make sure that Poppy sees all these pictures.
Normal is.
And Minnie notices that there are several types of... Well, he can smell that several of the people here have been indulging in quite interesting drugs. Because Tennessee's first crop in the 90s was soybeans. Second crop was tobacco. Third was weed.
I think he would look at the girls right now because it's a new place.
And you have lots of... I think like at first, unless someone wants to do something spectacular for your entrance, these girls and guys run up like, oh, it's Minnie. I was like, no, he's Georgie. Don't call him that. He's Minnie. He's here with his people. And this guy looks up and like reaches out like he's going to tap Scanline's screen.
Oh, the screen is displaying our logo at the moment.
Hands of the merchandise.
Does it feel? He asks to anyone but Scanline.
I think Scanline leans closer, which you shouldn't, because you can't have your eyes near that TV screen, and just says, "You want to find out?"
Oh no, you're definitely not my type. I don't want to see my face when I'm screwing someone.
Well, you don't have to see your face, and I think,
What's wrong with you?
Unless you have a particular reaction, Leandro, I think Karen's gonna punch that guy in the face.
And you just... I assume this is just like a narrative deck. You're not trying to actually like take him out or anything.
I'm not trying to like send him to the hospital or anything, but no, it's right on the when I'm screwing them line. It just fist comes in from the side.
Yeah, and he goes down, and this is when you see him up close. Our sweet Beacon. I'm going to ask you. Well, no. Let's see. Should I ask or? How did he deserve? What did he do to you in the past to really have deserved this punch? Because I think you knew he was from one of the families you knew before the Olympics.
I know. I've never been able to prove it, but I know he was the money behind that alien blood scandal at the Olympics. I could never find any connections, but the scumbag has had this coming for a long time.
Ooh, I like it.
Also, one of my drives as a beacon that I picked was to punch someone you probably shouldn't.
Oh, and you probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, whatever money or power or connections he's got, go for it.
And he goes down, and I think several of the girls begin like, and one just points and laughs, just like completely, and the like the you all are getting like, can we get your autograph? Can we like, let's take a Polaroid with us in it? How do we? Oh, this is so, and like, but you are all accepted, and except by the guy you just punched, but. And the you guys go and start mingling, and like for a few panels, it looks like there's just a good party going. And I think this is when Dolly Parton comes out. Looks, hair high to the heavens for to be closer to God. Chest on display, classily, not like a harlot, and dressed just like a country goddess. And so it's like, this new song is for our super guests. It will be debuting on VH1 next week. Please, if you would, if you know the words, sing along, and I will be talking to you about how you got the lyrics with my manager later. And she begins singing this song that has been written for like the Generation Extra opener, and it's like everyone gets a line about them, and the chorus is about the team as a whole. But like they talk about like, Scanline, the Screen Queen, able to do what no person can do, more powerful than a Magnavox, more just all sorts of beautiful words. Minnie gets like described as a partier, and Chiron is like, I think Chiron has like the longest thing, because like they've achieved, went to the Olympics, shot down the alien blood scandal. The only person to survive the failed pilot. It's just all sorts of beautiful things. But like how Miss Marvelous ignored Karen, you are obviously loved by many, and not many, but but as this song is going, Karen, you feel a hand on your shoulder, and you turn around and see your coach in a very fancy outfit.
What's his name?
Let's say Charles Mathers.
Oh, Coach Mathers. Wow, I didn't expect to see you here.
I expected to see more of you in the first episode. What happened?
Look, I mean, there was some really great stuff, and it all got left on the editing room floor. It's these weird green floating things. Jerks.
We can actually use it then. If it didn't get used in the episode, we can probably use it for commercials for the Olympics. Do you have a card I could have?
Yeah, I think I do. It's very like fancy and shiny, and has this like royal blue arrowhead going across the front of it.
Yeah, and I think you hand this over, but you notice in the coach's eyes a reflection, and then it cuts to the next panel, and and if you all check on Necromanticula under the Zeitgeist, you just see this very attractive, oddly attractive zombie girl punch through the wall of the house and storm in. Well, looks like there's a motherfucking party, and the party starter's here. And Dolly's song stops. Rubble is collapsing. She has completely destroyed the alcohol table. Tyler, I can't hear you. Or let's see what you were saying. Oh, but
That
yeah.
was my verse next.
Sorry, what? Did you repeat that?
I yell at her. That was my verse next.
And she sort of dusts herself off from the rubble, and these beetles the size of house cats begin swarming in from the door, and floating in on buzzing wings is Hive. And she just chitters and crackles with her chelicay, but doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything human, at least. And they're looking down at the team, and the guy who ordered you as a team is like, "Oh, fight, 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 fight!"
Didn't you idiots get the memo? This place has a dress code. It's a very fancy party. You look like trash covered in rubble.
I'm dressed in a top tank with no sleeves, just to be clear.
No, but it's very fashionable. You really pull it off. It's the shoulders.
And Necromanticula grits her teeth, and you hear this horrible sound like iron on glass as they grind. "Oh, I'm taking your ass down first, bitch." So yeah, you are engaging in combat, I believe. I will ask, who is the team leader?
Sounds like Chiron to me. She's taking the lead, so.
Yeah, I'd say for this instance that would probably be correct.
Sort of my element, I guess.
Okay. So we add 2 to the team pool. Chiron, do you have influence over every other teammate?
No, I don't have influence over Fleer.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong tab.
What is your purpose in this fight, Chiron?
My purpose is to get these clowns out of here without people getting hurt and with us looking awesome.
Does everyone agree that's their purpose as well?
Many looks unsure.
I'm not sure.
Well, get them out and look fashionable.
I
Still.
don't care about to get them out much. I don't know.
Okay, so we are still at 2 team. Does anyone mistrust the leader?
I don't.
Okay, so still at 2 team. And I don't think you all are ill prepared. Like they're not that prepared either, so you're on equal setting. And yes, Leandra?
You should start with, it should be 3, because at the start of every session you add 1 team to the pool.
Gotcha. 3 team. See, and I think this one voyeur flies out to the car, and this opens the trunk, and this horde of voyeurs flies out, cameras at the ready, and begins filming. And Fleer, you get this weird feeling of like spider legs touching your brain as you feel Hive communicating with you. "You smell delicious. I think my minions will love you."
I fear that you will be sorely disappointed.
And it's like the panel does the full page thing of you guys getting ready for the fight, and it's just a Hive reaching her hand up as the beetles swarm up into a spike, and Necromanticula trying to lunge at Chiron, but she has a bit of space to cover. So what do you all do?
I think I throw my drink at the dead girl. I just kind of take the last sip and throw it at her. At her head.
Okay. Yes. Are you is that a directly engaging a threat or provoking someone? or one of your own custom moves. I'll check out your custom moves too.
I don't think I have any custom moves that have anything to do with fighting. Maybe misled.
Yeah, misleading, distract, or trick.
'Cause that's not my power, obviously. I'm just trying to like get someone
Oh
else.
no, that's not a power. You can still. It's just a move you've
Yeah.
taken.
I think I'll use Are You Watching Closely? Like, this is very obviously the first thing that happens, so if I want to look at that, well, hopefully to confuse them for some time, etc., etc. That other stuff.
Yeah.
We'll see what I get.
Yeah. Roll your superior.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So that's a
Ooh.
good start.
Oh,
That's a 5.
that's a 5. Do we want to spend the team early, or shall mini fail?
I hate to see the first move go terribly, but Minnie, do you think does it add a little something to the character that the movie goes wrong right off the bat?
Of
What do you
course,
think?
it's drunk. I mean, instead of becoming several people and going for the offense, he's throwing a cup at her. So
I think you had like if this fails, like you had like a bottle full of alcohol, but like you are a bit drunk already, I assume. If I
it's
can,
a red cup, one of those red cups.
a red solo cup. Yeah,
It can't even hurt her.
you throw it. It's a weak throw, and she just crushes the cup. But she notices you threw it, and turns to you like, "Oh, you're that misogynistic jerk ass. Deal with you later, bitch." And she just runs up to Minnie, and she delivers this uppercut that is so strong it separates you into two people.
Also, I'm supposed
But,
to
mark a condition.
Yeah. Which one? Insecure, I guess. I think it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Hive's beetles are like trying to make this, making something. But if she's not stopped, she will be able to command her beetles, and she's floating above them in Ghost Scanline.
Yeah, I think, or when Manny gets punched, I just turn to the other two, and yeah, the clip of Judge Judy rolling her eyes plays on the screen, and then I just say, I get a feeling Scanline doesn't do quips with her teammates. She just has a lot of random code words because she doesn't have a face. So I think she says a code word I think she says wine as in whining, and she's gonna start on the screen. She's just playing like a dial test tone, a really high pitch, annoying noise to try and disrupt the Hive telepathy.
Ooh, use your powers, I think, right?
Yeah,
or are you provoking
use your
someone? Yeah, okay.
The effect is to stop whatever the Hive beetles are doing. So that's unleash your powers, I think.
Yeah, roll with freak.
Hold on. I think I got a 6 again. That's a 9.
Okay, so you either mark a condition, or I'll tell you how it's unstable or temporary.
I think I'm gonna mark a condition. I think what that guy said is still kind of got to me more than I'm letting myself show. But so I'm gonna mark a condition. I think it's like, okay, I'm feeling insecure because but now I just have to prove something. No, this is what I do. I don't have to deal with bullshit like him. But yeah, that high pitched tone just starts playing from my TV face.
Yeah, and I'm going to say Hive will mark a condition for this. Let me bring up her notes on my screen. And but like the Beatles begin like falling. They fall on their backs. Their legs are twitching, and Hive crashes to the ground. You see, holding her beetle head, and you can't. Like, her eyes don't close, and you can't tell which of the compound eyes is looking where. But it looks like she is in agony as best she can be, and she. I think what she does is she ends up she has no telepathy with the beetles, but everyone, like, what that little scratching feeling that Fleer felt, like, everyone feels like a spider bit their brain. Like, it is a telepathic, painful shriek. And like, just innocents are getting hurt, Fleer. Because, like, every onlooker is just like, you can see, like, some people have nosebleeds, some people are crying, but, like, this is a painful telepathic attack.
Okay. I think seeing this going on and seeing her there, it's time to get her quiet then. I think I look over and there's sort of the wind from nowhere that lifts my cape a little bit as black swirls out from me, forming up into this. Basically, it looks like a large 50s housewife with an enormous fly swatter.
I love it.
And kind of like Lucy with a fly swatter, but it's one of huge. As she goes over and is going to fly swat this woman good and hard, hopefully knocking her out and stopping this attack.
So do you believe you're unleashing your powers?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing a psychic construct. All right, so rolling with freak. Ugh. That's a 5. I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Do we want to have the voyeurs help this? Because, like, I want this fight to start going well.
Shall I use the team pool?
I think the others have to use the team.
Oh,
and we have 3 at the moment.
It would make it just 6 if it's a normal thing.
But no, up to everyone. Every person can spend 1 team, so, like, 2 people can spend team.
Unless I find a way to help a teammate through destructive criminal will-breaking action,
Ooh.
then I can give +2.
There is maybe there's a chandelier above where this wife is, like, swatting down. A very expensive, beautiful, priceless chandelier from Europe.
I think I'll throw something up.
Yeah. So spend 1 team. This goes to a 7. Do you want to mark a condition, or is this just a temporary maneuver?
No more chandelier.
I suppose I'll yeah, I think I'll mark a condition for it.
Yeah, so I think this the Mini throws this beer bottle. It clips the string to the chandelier beautifully. The chandelier falls and Hive dodges out of the chandelier's way, and the fly swatter slams down on her, and she crumples. And when the fly swatter lanes up, you can see her wings are battered. Even her carapace seems to be breaking some, and it's odd to see fear in a bug's eye, but, like, her horde, like, starts swarming around her, envelops her, and they just leave out of the way they came. And you hear Necromanticula like, "Ugh, should never work with insects."
And I took angry as I see these people around are hurt, and it's that's probably why I'm being as vicious with this as I am.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Chiron, I think Necromanticula has punched Minnie, but is, like, squaring off with you. What are you doing?
So I'm sort of, like, taunting her and trying to lead her around in circles until I, like, run up on an empty chair and onto one of these, like, tables with the dinner in it and sort of, like, knock aside the salad sort of thing. And I pull out my bow and I start firing at her, like, arms and legs, as I pull out my glorpy arrows. They hit, and as they hit, they sort of expand into, like, tarry bubbles of stickiness. So I'm trying to just, like, cover in them and get her locked down.
Ooh, I like that. And you think that's unleashing your powers? Let me bring this up. Or
I
Like
think
direct
she's
invoking someone.
I think probably since she's running at me, it might be directly engaging a threat.
That too. Yeah, roll your danger.
I'm not great at that. Oh, that's a 3.
Okay, we can't even help that much.
So I think that like the arrows actually do like stick to her. There's a lot of glorp. There's a lot of and everyone, don't forget, every time you miss a roll, you do mark potential. I should make sure that. But she, like, you stick her legs and like she falls forward, but she's grabbed the tablecloth as she's falling and flings you off, and you land on your ass, and you look up just to see the voyeur getting like this footage.
Oh, come on. Now they're looking.
And I think like this is a powerful blow to your ego.
Wait,
Oh, no.
can I try to defend?
Yeah, you can definitely defend someone from this, I think.
Like, you see basically more minis like start splitting. 2 of them go to catch you.
Yeah. Roll savior.
I'm not very good at that one, but let's try. Let's just make them worse.
This is a completely different room than the Hardly Calm Marlin.
Oh god, that's not good.
Did you get a 4? Or,
5 minus 1 is a 4.
yeah.
That's
I
not
think
the
you're
savior.
both taking a powerful blow to your egos as you've been caught on camera, basically flailing. So roll plus conditions you have, and this time you want to fail.
Mm-hmm. So let me add for that one. And plus conditions. I have 1 condition. Come on. Now it's gonna be. Oh, yeah. You first.
I got an 8.
Okay. Which isn't the worst, thankfully.
Oh, I got a 6.
Good.
Yeah, it's the first time I press these things.
So nothing happens. Minnie, not only do you mark potential, but you get to say how you weather the blow. And Chiron, do you provoke a teammate? Do you give ground, or do you struggle past the pain?
I think especially with many not really showing any reaction to this, like I am on camera, they're watching. This can't happen 2 battles in a row. So no, I'm just biting down, not showing any of the pain on camera right now, but this hurts. I think angry and afraid.
Yeah, and to really sink home the afraid, you see Necromanticula like bend just unnaturally down to her feet where the goop is. Her mouth extends like a snake's, and bites down the goop and rips it apart. And she stands up, and her jaw. Ugh. Wonder what you taste like. Ever seen a Romero film?
I'm legally required to tell you that substance is toxic for consumption.
Already dead. Can't die again, can ya? But I think this is an opportunity for Scanline, because she is focusing on Chiron and Minnie right now.
Yeah, I think I'm actually a bit a ways away, so I can't. So what as Necromantia is going on in Chiron, I think I need to better define what Scanline can do. But I think
remember, there are lots of cameras in the vicinity right now. Maybe you can use your powers to like electrically shock Necromanticula from one, or blast glass at her.
Yeah, I was thinking like, well, my other plan was to just throw my arm at her, but
I love it.
because I have to come up with like, oh man, so when Scanline was first given out, she had a transformer, like a further transformer, so she can shoot lightning. No, I'd rather just throw my arm at her. There we are, but come on, I'm not gonna smash my screen on on oh, actually, you know what? I think yeah, no, I will just throw my arm. I think as a directly engage. I think it's more like there's still a bit of ways away, so it is a sense of like, because my arm is made of metal and other doll-like parts. It is more like, yeah, aiming straight at her head.
This is very Robot Man. I love it. So roll to directly engage.
All right, so that's a 6. So someone please spend a team to turn that to a 7.
Maybe someone else?
I'll definitely spend it. I think just instinct. I see something flying through the air, and I know that your aim is just terrible. So I just snap off a shot across the room that like knocks it into the right trajectory,
Or at least like put Necromanticula into the right trajectory. Either way, but yeah. What do you choose for your one?
I'm going to create an opportunity for my allies.
Yeah, so I think Necromanticula like gets hit by your arm, and she turns around, and just picks up your arm, and it just explodes into plastic and metal. But yeah, she is focused on Scanline. Anyone else has an opportunity right now. And because the roller's been so bitchy, you get +1 on this opportunity, whoever takes it.
Fleer hasn't acted in a while.
Yeah, how are the people around looking though?
They've moved, like most of them have left the room after the psychic attack because like that was too much for many of them, and they can see this on TV later. But I think the kid whose party this is still there, like watching from behind this curtain.
Do any of them look like they're hurt badly? Anybody here from the attack that's looking badly injured? Or
It's surprisingly. Oh, give me, if I may, can I tempt you to assess the situation?
Certainly. I like assessing situations.
Don't forget your +1.
Yeah, so roll superior +1.
All right. Superior is not my good stat, though. So I will be dead even. All right. But I rolled a 10.
Woohoo!
All right.
So ask 2.
Yes. Let's see here. What here is the greatest? What here is the biggest threat?
Besides Necromanticula, the structure of this room's integrity may be compromised.
Okay. And how can I best end this quickly?
Let Necromanticula know that you won't air this episode.
All right. I will look over at her and you are completely outnumbered and terribly, terribly overpowered. You should run. I can make it so this does not get out. It must be embarrassing, no?
Wait. You're saying I won't get my time on TV? And she turns to the birthday boy. You said if we fought them, we'd get on TV.
I'm gonna cut my eyes back over towards that boy.
I think we all do.
And like he looks like
I look at Karen and kind of ask, "Can I punch him?" Karen.
Yeah, no breaking anything though.
Do you go Poppy one?
I'm totally punching that dude. Like you see another little me just run to his like his sensitive area and pow.
yeah, I think Necromanticulous is like fuck
That is
it.
not even a
I've
good
already been paid. Screw
Ah.
you guys. I'm going home. And she walks through the wall, leaving you guys and like this brick just falls behind her.
Call me later.
And like the fight is over. The voyeurs, many of them stop filming, start like checking their what they have with it, and like the kid.
I kind of become a whole bun myself again right above him, and I'm like, hope you had a good party. And I go back to the fun and drinks. Whatever.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. We'll be billing you double, by the way.
It's no fun if you don't fight.
Well, we can still fight, but there's no one else here but you, so you may want to rethink that.
Scanline shoots an image of the Undertaker doing a throat slit towards him.
And he's just this is the worst birthday ever.
What are you talking about? You were punched by a superhero.
I didn't even get an autograph. But yeah, and I think you all go back as you going back to the limo. Like you see Dolly Parton like getting in hers, and it's like I'm billing you double.
I run over, Miss Parton. May I have an autograph? I love your Jolene.
And she looks. How tall is Fleer?
She's probably like 5'2", so not much shorter than Dolly.
Yeah, I would say not much shorter. And Dolly smiles like, only if I. And she pulls out a picture of Fleer, like a glamour shot. Like, may we trade?
Of course. Oh my goodness, Miss Parton.
Your Macarena flash mob? It's why I took this song. Oh, you're my favorite.
I blush tremendously.
And I think like you can clear a condition for like you're an idol telling you that you're their favorite.
Awesome.
But yeah, and you guys get back to your headquarters.
I'm totally giving the kid an autograph though. I just take a big marker and on his forehead, Fat. What's her name? Oh, Generation X. Fat Generation X.
And when you guys get back, Miss Marvelous is like waiting at the door, looks unimpressed, nonplussed. I've reviewed the footage. Come inside. Turns on her heel, walks in.
I cannot believe this boy. He had invited villains to his party. What sort of people would do such a thing?
Stupid ones. Idiots trying to get a rise out of everyone or get some entertainment in their life. It's why it's a fucking TV. It's why there's a TV show. It should be enough. But no, I don't blame any of you. You all handled this well. No one got hurt seriously, except that one bastard who needed it. Great job, by the way, Minnie. It's on the highlight reel. And Scanline, that was a beautiful idea to disrupt the whatever was controlling those beetles. Fleer, that was wonderful. Karen, your mom called.
I start laughing real loud.
She says if you break contract, she'll pay the fee and you can come home.
Did you give her my standard answer? Go screw off, old woman?
Well, I'm a bit older than her, so I called her a trollop. Is that okay?
Oh, that's good. I like the creativity.
Thank you. And she places a hand on you. Whatever she says, don't let it bother you. You belong at Generation Extra. I believe in you.
I don't want that to work as well as it's working.
Do you think she's pulling influence on you?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think even without the insecure, Karen is still like very fresh from the wound before.
I think she's Let me check your labels real quick. She's going to move your freak down and your savior up.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. And she looks at Minnie again, and it's like, I know, Minnie, several of you are underage. Scanline, I know you don't drink, but I had a techno fiend of mine to look, and she pulls out like what would be a flash drive later in life. It's just like a AV plug. This will unscramble the channels tonight if you want to watch. Everyone,
Scanline flashes a clip of that kid doing the thumbs up in that Mac commercial.
and she's like, the rest of you, there are some mixed drinks and dinner waiting. You did wonderful tonight. This is going to make a killer episode.
Just don't show the dead girl. She would like it too much.
Oh no, she's surprisingly marketable for a corpse. I mean, maybe a Rob Zombie song in the background when she's showing up.
Blur her face. That would be so. That would
just don't give her any dialogue, please.
Oh yeah, don't give her dialogue.
Oh no, the censoring on that woman would be way too much. And she and it's like, after you're done partying, please be responsible. We'll do some research on these villains. I'm afraid they may come in more often.
If they can be hired by Little Boy for party, they should be fairly easy to find.
I think they might be easy to find, but I'm kind of worried that if they would be hired to be on our TV show, what else would they do to be on it?
Yes. That one certainly did not seem to mind the damage she caused.
The dead girls seem to relish it, and I've not seen such strength since Zargaz the Destroyer. Which, I mean, who names himself Zargaz? You're David from Kentucky.
What? See? We could have worse recurring villains, I guess.
David the Destroyer does not have quite the same ring.
No. Yeah. And I mean, it was better than DNA last, so I mean... But yeah, and like, you all get together, and I think this is a time where you guys can share your team victory if you would like.
I pour glasses of wine for everyone. You know, you're supposed to put very little. I give everyone a full glass. I give one to Scanlight as well, even though she can't drink. And I'm like...
Yeah, I think I take... Oh, I'm missing an arm, so... But I take it anyway.
I'll clean an arm and in the mouth, so...
Yeah, but I think I still clean glasses anyway. Just
is your arm going to come back?
Oh, I just have to make a new one. I think. Yeah.
But
And
if you need a hand, if you need a hand. Anyway,
Yeah, and I think a clip of probably like a laugh track, please. Maybe my new arm can shoot lightning.
And we can do like the team celebrations after debrief, but because I think like once the celebration is over, like one of the voyeurs floats in, has a VHS tape, puts it in the TV, and it's from the battle, but it's the vantage point from like outside the house, from where the wall got knocked in, and there are two other people out there standing and watching. And one of them is this looks like a senior citizen Asian man, and he's taking notes in this notebook. And you see Hive, like the Beatles let loose Hive in front of him, and she just looks really kind of sad. And this really kind of nerdy looking black man, glasses, high top, basketball jersey. His eyes roll in the back of his head, and Scanline, you'll know Athena as she pops out of his head, grasps this guy, grasps Hive, and flies off.
the fuck?
Hmm.
Who's that girl? I pointed at Tina.
I think Scanline is silent. Her screen is actually turned off.
And I think like the one thing Minnie does notice that the others don't is that Athena, despite like Athena's dressed in like a prismatic gladiatorial armor, just very beautiful, huge peacock wings, and a wedding ring on her hand, with the same make as the wedding ring on Jason's hand, or the black man's hand. And the Asian guy who's watching, like Necromanticulus, storms out, just meh, 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 and he touches her on the forehead, blink, and they're gone.
They did not choose to use all of their forces against us. This is strange.
Maybe the birthday jerk couldn't pay for everybody.
Does not show good teamwork, however, if they would watch as their teammates are, I would say, dispatched quite handily.
I would say ass kicked.
I would not say, but I would agree.
The voyeur, stops the tape, pulls it out, and then writes like recurring guests ? And floats off. And I think unless anyone wants to have anything else, this will probably be like the end of the comic. But
I do want a second where I go over to Charon, as we're having our kind of celebration for having won, and we'll say to her, "You did very well."
Well, I mean, could have done a lot better.
You were a good leader.
Thanks.
No one died.
No one's hospitalized this time.
Once Mojo was gone, I did not know who would be able to keep head calm. As much as I love Scanline, calm head I would not call her. And, well, and I'll look over towards Minnie and just not even say
I think we
anything.
both look over and say ellipsis.
Yeah. You have done well.
That sounds like a comfort and support.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I'm also giving you influence as part of my celebration there.
Good.
Oh.
Oh, and
So,
everyone, don't forget, if you can spend your influence on someone to add 1 to your roll. Oh, if you have influence over someone, you add 1 to all rolls against them.
Yeah.
So if you have
Okay.
influence
And
on
for
Karen,
them too, technically.
but
So I
you-
do a 7 in that comfort sport.
okay. So if you open up Karen, you will get to clear condition, mark potential, or shift your labels.
So I think I say this. Look, I'm trying to lead, but I'm only good at leadership because there's good people to lead around. You were pretty impressive in there. Look, this isn't the first time I've tried this, but this is the first time it's gone well. We're weird. We're not your normal super team or TV fare, but I think we have something special here. I think it might go well this time.
I'll sort of smile and, yes, I think it will too. And lean in and kiss you and on the cheek, and of course leave enormous red lipstick mark there on your cheek as I sashay away.
Dark beauty. Leave a
Yeah,
mark.
dark beauty. It'll stick with them.
I think I'm still angry because that was fucked, but I'm not afraid anymore. We're a team. We're gonna make it through this.
That's nice. Yeah. If we're fine, I can stop broadcast. We can go over team victory move, team celebration moves, because it sounds like a celebration, and do debrief. Okay. Everyone who watched, if you did, thanks for sticking with us. And next exciting time, same exciting place.